Holly.
I'm Charisse. Welcome to Ask Mom.
Today we are talking about
if you are pregnant.
If you are pregnant, how do I tell my parents that I'm pregnant?
Or an adult.
Or an adult.
If you can't tell your parents right away, an adult.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you've taken the tests, you have the signs, and you're thinking, I've got to tell somebody, which you do, because you need to start getting medical care. Right away. It's important to start seeing a doctor and taking vitamins and doing all the things you need to do to take care of you and that baby. You need to know that you're not supposed to be smoking or drinking, and that you need to be eating in a healthy way. Right? So these are all things you're going to have to start researching and reading about and understanding, and that means you need to start telling someone so that you can do all that you can do to have a healthy baby. Right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to tell somebody, and so you need a starting point.
I think you need to start with a close friend or a family member. Mm-hmm. Older sister, something like that.
Right, just somebody that you trust.
Somebody that you trust. Because they're going to help you be able to talk through it. You may need to bring them to tell your parents, so that you feel like you have somebody there that has already heard it and has, wrapped their arms around you. So you're going to need to find that one person, and you have to be very careful who you pick. You just don't want to be flippant about picking this friend or that friend who might be telling everybody at school. So this is somebody, choose wisely.
Yes, and somebody who really can be an ally for you, not just sit there and hold your hand and watch as people freak out, if that's what's going to happen, but someone that can say, this has happened and we need to discuss it, and that can help be an advocate for you. There's a lot of things you're going to have to think through, and the first thing is, before you have this discussion, you need to think through picking a time that is calm and where you can have an uninterrupted conversation. You don't want to be sitting there at dinner, you're totally stressed out, you think, I just want to say it, I just want to say it. Yeah. Everybody, is yelling and screaming, and we got to go to soccer, and we got to whatever, and you're like, by the way, I'm pregnant, right? Okay, so you need a time where you can sit down and you can say, there's something really important I need to talk to you about, I'm really afraid, I'm really nervous how you're going to react, but I need to tell you that, I'm pregnant. And so, they're gonna need time to soak in that information, and they're gonna have a cajillion million questions for you.
And so you need to be prepared for that. You need to be prepared, like, turn the table. If this was my, daughter or child or friend telling me this, how would I react, and what questions would I have? And so those are the things you need to really prepare yourself for. Right,
it's true. And so thinking they're probably gonna ask who the father is. If you don't have a boyfriend, they're probably not going to know. So they're going to want to know who the father is. They're going to want to know, how long do you think you've been pregnant? Because they're not going to know whether you've been hiding this information from them for 6 months, and in 3 months they're going to have a baby on their lap.
Right.
Or if this is just brand new, you just found out you just missed your period. And so you need to have an idea of how long you think you've been pregnant.
Right. And how you know. Right. I took the test. I took 2 tests.
Right.
Whatever it is. That's how I feel like I know.
You might want to spend enough time with yourself. This isn't like months. You don't have months to do this. But you have a couple of days. And you might want to think through, how do I feel about the options that I have before me now, that I know that I'm pregnant? And so how do I feel about being a mother and raising a baby right now? And how do I feel about the idea of adoption? Because if you go in there with a feeling one way or the other, say I'm super confused, but I think that maybe I want to have this baby, then at least they know where your mind is, and where you're coming from, and that you're actually putting some thought into this.
Right.
Or you could just say, I don't have the foggiest idea what to do, and I just need your guidance. Because part of it is, as parents, they're going to feel like, what do I do? What do I do to, they may just be angry at first, but then it's probably going to be, or they may be just terrified or shocked or frustrated. It's hard to know what their reaction will be, but this is a big, big piece of news, and they're going to need time to digest it, and then they're going to want to know, how do you feel about it?
Right.
And so if you have an idea of how you feel about it, communicating that is really an important thing. And yes, just anticipating what their reactions might be. If they're really angry, what's the best way to move past the anger into having a conversation with them? You know them well enough to know what that is. But getting angry back at them
is not going to help.
That's not a good thing, because you're probably not going to be happy if they have a bad reaction, like a really big reaction. You feel like they're blaming you or saying horrible things to you or whatever. That's not going to feel good, but it's not going to get you any further to yell back at them.
Right.
It's going to be one of those times where you need to just maybe let it settle a little bit and then say, we need to have a conversation more about this because I'm really scared. And they need to be able to see that.
Right.
I mean, I think that's part of why you need to think through, if you say, I really want to have this baby, you know, what you're really saying is, Mom and Dad, I need you to help me go through school, help me find childcare, help support another child. I mean, these are all things, if you're a teenager, that's what you're going to need. It's not just that we have a sweet, cuddly baby in our house now.
Right.
And that is a part of it, and that's going to bring really wonderful things with it. But you're also asking them to provide for another person, and that could be a really stressful thing in your household. And for them to support you while you support a child, you know, they may have things they need you to do. They may need you to get a job. They may need you to, you know, maybe not go to traditional school anymore, but find another alternative to school where you can still finish your education but care for a child at the same time. I mean, there's going to be so many things you have to figure out, and that's okay. They'll get figured out, but you're going to need to be really patient with them while you do that. I guess if you're really at a bypass, like say, for instance, I don't know, say your parents say, we want you to have an abortion, and you feel super strongly that abortion isn't an option for you and that you want to either have the baby or adopt the baby, it may mean that you ask them if you could go into some family counseling. And so maybe you say, I don't know, I don't have the resources to be able to explain to you why I feel like I can't do that and live with myself the rest of my life, so could we go and do a couple of family counseling sessions where maybe we have an arbitrator, a counselor that can sit there and help us walk through my emotions and, you know.
And what each different situation would look like.
Right. I think that would probably be a good idea. Maybe no matter what the circumstances. But I think the most important thing is once you realize you are pregnant, not only in medical care, but you don't want to rush into a decision that you're going to regret. And so take a week or two and really think through, how do I really feel about this? Because if tomorrow you rush out and you do something you're going to regret the rest of your life, you know, it's hard when you're really stressed out to make good decisions, and you need their input and you need time to think. And that's the most important thing you could be doing right now if you're in that situation.
And the other thing that I want to add to that is, if you haven't told your parents yet, but you've told your boyfriend, don't let him pressure you into making a decision that you might regret.
Right.
Because it's easier for him.
That's a really good point. And then maybe he doesn't have to tell anybody at all, right?
And he has no consequences to it, really.
It's true.
So you do. And so don't let him pressure you into making any decisions without your parents knowing first.
That's good advice.
That's why I'm here, Holly.
I appreciate that.
That's it. I'm Charisse.
And I'm Holly. Thanks for tuning in today.
Thanks.